Today on CTV News at 5, taking steps to shield businesses from costly crimes. We've got new reporting on a spike in copper and metal thefts here in the region. Plus, acknowledgement in question, a legal challenge to how the Waterloo Region District School Board's been handling a tradition at its public meetings. And protecting yourself against RSV as the seasonal virus season begins to ramp up. A timely check with one of the area's top doctors on CTV News at 5, starting right now. Good to have you with us on this Thursday afternoon. Leanne's away today. And first at 5, a wave of metal thefts. Copper, aluminum, wire, and other components. Thieves have been scaling buildings to get after them, leaving a trail of damage that can cost far more than the value of what's been stolen. The problem's been getting worse in Waterloo Region, and today, new insight on the crimes and the efforts to keep thieves away. CTV's Ashley Bacon has more from a building in Kitchener where they've been taking new measures to protect their property.
Tony, this building in Kitchener is a perfect example of some of the steps people are taking to prevent an increase in these very costly crimes. Already this year, Waterloo Regional Police have been called to 64 cases of copper, metal, or wire theft. This video taken in Cambridge showing an example of one such case. Thieves are busting onto properties and making off with material or components worth a few $100s. In some cases, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage is caused. Property owners tell us they're targeting anything that has value.
They'll take anything that's worth something. So that would be the copper coils and the condenser coils. That would be any other wiring that has value. They take the units apart, the rooftop heating, ventilation, air conditioning units, and then they make off with the parts, and they sell that.
Coming up at 6, we'll visit a metal fabricating plant that's actually been helping businesses and people build solutions to keep thieves away in the first place. Tony.
Ashley, thank you. CTV's Ashley Bacon with that report. And we should note, when it comes to copper, earlier this year, CTV's parent company Bell, along with telecommunications firm Rogers, well, they both pointed to this as being a problem right across the country. Bell said copper thefts were up 23% year over year, and that a majority of thefts were happening in Ontario. Cambridge, especially the Galt area, was identified as a hotbed for the crimes. Rogers said it was also dealing with the problem, with vandalism being tied to at least 14 service disruptions in Waterloo Region over the last year. The Waterloo Region District School Board is facing a legal challenge by a parent who says a land acknowledgement should not be required at the start of school council meetings. Jeffrey Horseman is a father who is on the school council at Kitchener-Waterloo Collegiate and Vocational School. He says he's been told that not only must school council meetings start with land acknowledgements, his request to put the issue on the agenda for discussion was denied. His lawyer says the school board is overstepping its jurisdiction by putting these rules in place.
The school council is supposed to have an independent existence, so that it can actually give a voice to parents. It's one of the few ways that parents do have that voice. And so by the board stepping in and dictating what the council is and is not allowed to discuss, they're violating the statutes that give school councils their existence.
Horseman and his lawyer will be asking the court to overturn the school board's mandate so that school councils can make their own decisions on the matter. All right, it's feeling festive in Elora. That's where we find Alex Pinto live tonight at the Christmas market. Looks like a winter wonderland out there, Alex.
Well, it is sure feeling festive with all the snowflakes and lights. We've got some fireplaces going here at the Elora Christmas market. It is also Starlight shopping that is taking place here this evening. So stores are going to be open for an extended period of time until about 8, 9 o'clock or so. But the Elora Christmas market here opened up officially November 14th. It is going to be running right through every Wednesday through the weekend until Christmas. We have 88,000 twinkling lights, 151 Christmas trees covering the market and town. Really a beautiful, the scene. It feels like you're in a bit of a fairy tale here. There's also a 35-foot high Christmas tree that is standing tall in the center. We've got chalets for vendors, so you can shop as you go. And even with the vendors, that's pretty neat too. It is a bit of like an honor system, so you can tap and then take your goods and be on your way. From food to hot drinks, there's definitely a little something for everyone. Like we said, very thankful for these fire tables here this evening, especially as that wind is picking up. And yes, that snow is starting to fall here this evening. Speaking of the snow, I do want to start with the snow squalls that we've been experiencing. And if you have been on the roads, especially in rural areas, I know driving here along Northfield from Kitchener, there was some whiteout conditions too. So you want to be careful on the roads there. So we're noticing orange warning and yellow warning by Environment and Climate Change Canada. So anywhere from 10 to 60 centimeters of snow possible, depending on where you are. If you're in that yellow zone watch, you could see anywhere from 10 to 30. If you're in the orange warning section, that potentially anywhere from 30 to 60 centimeters of snow is possible. So yes, that snow is coming down here in Elora this evening. We're going to stick around for the next couple of hours to check out what the market has to offer, and also a look at your full forecast coming up a little bit later. I'll send it back over to you.
Here's what you need to know. You can take in a dramatic reading of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol next Friday night, December 5th, St. Peter's Lutheran Church, 810 King Street East in Cambridge. $15 for tickets. You're also asked to bring a donation for the Cambridge Food Bank. Back in a moment.
As we navigate sickness season, when it comes to RSV, there are ways to protect yourself, and that includes for pregnant women and newborn babies. Let's discuss with Dr. Nicola Mercer, the Medical Officer of Health in Wellington, Dufferin Guelph. Hi, Dr. Mercer. Thanks for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
Can you start by explaining the difference between someone who is pregnant receiving the vaccine versus newborn babies getting the antibody injection?
Yeah, this is a really important topic because RSV, or respiratory syncytial virus, is really common, especially at this time of year. And what we do know is that babies, if they get this virus, especially early on, if they're only a few months old, they have a really high rate of becoming very ill and often ending up in hospital. So we know that almost all children are going to be exposed to this virus in their first 2 years of life, but it's really important for those who are infants, like meaning under 6 months of age, over their first season, which is this fall and winter. So what we know is that we can protect anybody with antibodies that your body produces, or antibodies that we give you. So there is a vaccine that has to be given to a mom between a very specific time frame, so between 32 weeks and 36 weeks gestation. And the mother produces antibodies, which then go through the placenta to the baby. Or when the baby is born, we can give antibodies directly to the baby. So those are the two differences. So they're both considered an antibody product. The one is via the mother and the other is directly to the baby. And currently, the product is recommended the most is the one that is given directly to the baby.
Okay, what are some of the major concerns if newborn babies do contract RSV?
Yeah, it's a respiratory virus, so it's very similar. You can think of it like flu or COVID. So if you have a child, especially a young infant under 6 months of age, they have no immune system to defend against this, and their lungs or trachea, all of their little tubes that are in their lungs are very, very tiny. And so when they get a disease like RSV, they can become extremely sick with a pneumonia. It often sounds like croup. For those of you who know what croup sounds like, the children can be quite distressed, require oxygen or at least moisturized air, and are often hospitalized.
Kind of talking about the flip side of things as well, for anyone who is going through pregnancy, what happens if you get RSV during that time period?
Now, and another really interesting question. So what I do know, there are some limited studies that have looked at this, and what they found that for pregnant women who get RSV, they don't seem to get any more of a severe course than they would normally. So, and it's probably to do with the fact that the RSV virus is so common. We've all had it probably many times in our life, been exposed since children. So we have some protection. But the baby, when it's born, has no protection. So what we're trying to do with these new products, a new one that's available for the baby, is to protect the baby in the first season, their first RSV season. So that would be if your baby was born after April of 2025, this is their first RSV season, so the one that's coming up. So it's to protect that baby from getting really ill. By the time they get a little bit bigger and their lungs mature, if they get RSV when they're older, then they have their body has the tools and the size of which to respond better.
So for anyone who will be becoming a new parent soon in the next few months, what should they be keeping top of mind when it comes to RSV and their baby?
This is a really important question. Yeah, the first thing is you have to know about this as a virus. If you are pregnant right now and you're expecting in the near future, the things that you have to think about is COVID, flu, and RSV, because not only can they make you sick, but you don't want to give your newborn baby who has none of those protections any of these viruses. So what you need to do is, everybody in your home, please roll up your shirt sleeve and get a vaccine to protect the baby. As a mom, you should talk with your healthcare provider to say, is the product the right one for me, that I should be getting it as a pregnant woman, or should my baby get it when the baby is delivered? Right now, if you deliver a baby in hospitals here in Ontario, you'll be offered the vaccine. Well, it's not a vaccine. You will be offered the antibody product for your baby to protect them. And I encourage everyone who's listening to please allow your child to be vaccinated with this antibody product. It protects them this first year, because it is so common, and we really do see an awful lot of babies every year who get admitted to hospital with RSV.
Okay, finally, just want to talk about the local landscape. Are we seeing any current cases at this time?
Actually, we are, and we've started to see that the RSV is starting to increase, which is exactly what we would expect. We usually do see it start anywhere October, November, and it will continue right through, usually until about April. That's our typical RSV season, and especially with Christmas coming up and with the holidays, lots of people are going to be visiting your baby. If you have a newborn, may be exposed to lots of different people, so protect them from all the viruses that you can, and we are seeing it in our community.
Okay, well, it's great advice for women who are pregnant and anyone expecting to become new parents in the near future. Dr. Mercer, thank you so much for this. Dr. Nicola Mercer is the Medical Officer of Health in Wellington, Dufferin, Guelph. Thanks again.
And thank you.
All right, thank you, Leanne and Dr. Mercer. And a reminder, the holiday sip and shop is back at St. Jacob's Market one more night, tomorrow night, 4 to 7 p.m. A fun, festive night out to support local vendors. Back in a second. Well, nothing like a classic snowfall to bring in the Christmas season. Alex is back now at the Elora Christmas Market with all of our market and weather details. Alex.
It's feeling more and more like Christmas, and yes, the gift from Mother Nature today really making the Elora Christmas Market feel a little bit more magical. Nicole Drake-Wright from Cat Florence Elora joins us live. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for joining us, Alex.
So it really feels like something out of a storybook here. Can you tell us a little bit about what people can expect here at the Elora Christmas Market this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see, we have some beautiful huts inspired by a European Christmas market right down here in the heart of Elora. Each hut is filled with sweets and treats and beautiful gifts from local makers. That was something that was really important to us as we were curating all of the different offerings, was to really highlight what's special about this area.
One thing, too, that is new that you guys, I guess, are testing this year, kind of a bit of an honor system. These vendor huts are not staffed, but people can go by and actually tap Can you tell us a bit more about that? Because it's quite interesting.
Yeah, so this is something new just this season. As you can see, we don't have any people in the booths themselves, but we do have a market staff that's incredibly important and core to what we're doing here. So they're working behind the scenes. We've got a really amazing local group. And beyond that, like I mentioned, the wares, the sweets, the treats, the gifts, they're all very special offerings from our community.
When you see the community coming back each and every year, it is just such an impressive display. What is a highlight for you? What do you look forward to?
Oh my goodness. There's just something about seeing families, walking through the market together, people in love. You see these smiles, you see everyone posting or posing for these photos of memorable moments, and I hope that that's something that they take with them, is just remembering how they felt when they enjoyed the Elora Christmas Market.
It is beautiful here. Okay, thank you so much for having us again. Appreciate it. Yes, it is quite magical here in Elora, but like we were mentioning, the snow obviously adding to that, and with that, some snow squalls. Still, we're noticing that in addition to flurries and several watches as well as warnings issued by Environment and Climate Change Canada in terms of how much snowfall potentially we could see. So the yellow watch, for example, anywhere from 10 to 30 centimeters. If you're in the orange warning zone here, potentially 30 to even 60. That is possible. When we look at snow amounts too, by Saturday evening, potentially 13 centimeters here in Kitchener-Waterloo, 4 in London, and temperature-wise, we're sitting at -1 in KW right now, -3 in Mount Forest. So overnight, -3 is what we're expected to dip down to. Local blowing snow, so if you are driving out on some rural roads, keep that in mind, and those flurries and squalls expected for tomorrow as well. Now that sun going up 7:30 in the morning and setting before 5 o'clock officially. And over the next few days, flurries and squalls expected to really stick around with a bit more of that cloud cover too. But right now, like we keep saying, it is quite magical. Something out of maybe a Christmas story, if you will, Tony. But lots to see and do definitely here in Elora. I'll send it back over to you for now.
Perfect. Alex, thank you. We'll see you again at 6 from Elora as well. And next, the incredible story of a junior B hockey team that's on a 23-game winning streak. Here's CTV's Colton Weens.
And there's the horn. The Cambridge Redhawks celebrate victory number 23.
The Cambridge Redhawks undefeated this season in the Greater Ontario Hockey League, winning all 23 games so far.
It's going great, we're on a heater right now, but we're just taking it one game at a time.
The Redhawks are on the verge of breaking 2 league records. They're 1 win shy of the Caledonia Corvairs' season-opening 24-game win streak back in 2013-14. And later that season, the Kitchener Dutchmen set the record for the most consecutive wins with 25. While they're well aware of the opportunity, it's not their focus.
Our idea is to make the playoffs and do real well. We'll take this as a cherry on top. We're going to try and do our best to accomplish it. If it happens, awesome. If it doesn't, you know what, back to the drawing board.
We're just looking to keep it going, not get too high, and focus on a big playoff run.
The Redhawks have the best goal differential in the league, and Reed Gamage leads all players in points. But the team says it's their belief in each other that's keeping them winning.
I think that's the biggest key, is the kids are treating each other like family.
100% believe in the boys, 100% I can believe that. I believe this team wanted to, we can go 50-0, and I'm just confident in the boys like that.
We go down, there's no worries in the room. We know we're able to fight back.
Cambridge also added a couple new coaches with NHL experience this season. Nick Spalling took over as an assistant coach, and Todd Bertuzzi is the head coach, believing their attention to detail and hard work is paying off.
I played with Bert growing up in the OHL, and I've coached myself quite a bit, and I run the defense. So as a collaboration of 3 guys, we get along great. We each have something different to offer, but at the same token, we're going under mostly under Bert's his guidance and his idea of what we want.
Everything's about small details. When other coaches would look at bigger picture or stuff like this, he's always about smaller details. And he doesn't care if we win 50-0 or 2-1. There's always stuff he always picks on. And, that stuff is what makes us better.
It's just the practice, the intensity. We win 2 games on the weekend, but we're coming in Monday like we just got blown out.
Now, if the Redhawks win on Friday, they'll have a chance to tie the all-time record here at home on Saturday when they host Port Colborne here at the Galt Arena Gardens. Colton Weens, CTV News, Cambridge.
Those will be exciting games. Thanks, Colton. Back with a look at our final 5 in just a moment.
It's time to build a toy mountain.
Make this holiday season merry for so many kids.
Bring new unwrapped toys to your local Canadian Tire.
All in support of the Salvation Army.
We'll be collecting donations from November 19th to December 24th.
With all donations helping families right here in our community.
Toy Mountain, supported by the Core Group, Goman's Appliances, and the Crack Specialists.
Let's make this the best toy mountain ever.
Visit ctvkitchener.ca for more ways to donate.
And now a look at our final 5 stories we're following. Questions are being asked about why a beaver dam on a Kitchener creek was brought down by city staff. The dam was built along a stretch of Shoemaker Creek. It was taken apart by the city and wildlife experts over concerns it could cause flooding. But nature lovers near and far say they're concerned about the well-being of the beavers and the way the city went about downing that dam.
So when dams are removed, typically beavers respond by rebuilding the dam. And so again, it's a cyclical pattern and it doesn't solve any problems long term. The reality is if there's habitat and a food source, there will always be beavers in Shoemaker Creek.
CTV's Alexandra Hollick breaks down the conservation controversy for us at 6. We're also watching the changing weather today. Sun and then snow squalls on and off throughout the day. Warnings remain in place. Heavy accumulation expected by the time it's all said and done on Saturday, but also high winds whipping those squalls and fallen snow around, creating hazardous conditions over the next couple of days, especially in open areas. National news today, the Prime Minister and Alberta's Premier announcing a deal of sorts, a new understanding committing both levels of government to the process of building an oil pipeline to the West Coast. There are conditions, though, and we've got more coming up on the early edition of CTV National News at 5:30. We've been reporting on all kinds of jewelry store smash and grabs, and Guelph police say after months of work, they have rounded up some more suspects. Our digital team has more on how this investigation led police to an apartment building in Toronto. Details on the arrests, as well as who's accused of helping the thieves, that's all available over at ctvnewskitchener.ca. And barely a month after narrowly missing the World Series title, the Toronto Blue Jays are making a big free agent splash. The Jays have signed starting pitcher Dylan Cease to a 7-year deal that is worth $210 million. Now, that is the biggest free agent deal in Jays history. Cease spent the last 2 seasons with the San Diego Padres. So that's what a lot of Jays fans are going to be talking about. We'll have more on that coming up at 6. We'll also have much more local news coverage for you coming up half an hour from now. But first, let's take one more look at Toy Mountain as we head out this afternoon, because we are building it up, and with your help, we're going to help get it to new heights for the Salvation Army and help make sure every child has something this Christmas. Over to our national newsroom now, and Sandy Ronaldo.